Ready?
Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Keep Calm and Pea Glitter. I'm going to let Narissa start riffing today because
Start riffing. This is a phrase that I'm not used to in Birmingham. It must be like a Scouse thing, but I get it now because what
I think it's an American thing. I've
is
got an
it?
American coach and she says, just let me riff on this. And I was like, oh, I like that. I'm going to start saying it. So
Okay. Yeah, well, you become the people you're around, right? Right, let's riff it out. Is that right or not? We're just gonna riff on it. Is that is
it's
that
like when you brain fart, when you just talk. So for anyone out there with a defined throat chakra or throat center on your human design chart, we get our best answers when we just chat. So it could be like, oh, do you know what? I don't know what to do about this, and I'm thinking of this, this, and this, but actually that, like my incident this morning with the pasty. I decided today that I was going to make healthy choices, and both my kids are sick. So on the way back from the doctors, we went to the pasty shop because it's our Indie's favourite. And I bought myself a Lancashire pasty because Waterfield's Lancashire pasties are like the fittest. And I got home, didn't I? And I was going, oh, bought myself a pasty. But you know what? There's only 400 calories in it, which is less than a cheese and ham toastie, I reckon, because when you've got the bread in it.
I think that's good for a pasty, to be honest. I was
It
expecting like 800 or 900 calories in a pasty. I mean, it's a
is.
pasty. It's a proper treat, that is. But anyway, we totally digress, don't we? What are we riffing on?
So I riffed on my pasty while I was doing my card reading for me and Body and You group this
We
morning.
did.
And then I was like, do you know what? I don't feel bad anymore. I feel really grateful for my pasty. It's fucking gorgeous. Anyway.
I've got serious pasty envy because I've had to watch said pasty get eaten. So I've had two rich tea biscuits today, Like, no, I've had some grapes and some pomegranate and some yogurt and
Mm.
some raspberries. I know. See how healthy am I? Woo!
I've had Weetabix with honey on and a pasty.
Oh, that's okay.
I think the old, the
This
thick one's coming down.
oh, we've got ill
Very
children
soon.
at Nick's house today. I'm all right. I've just got the dog who's asleep currently, but won't be for long, I'm sure. But yeah, so today we thought we'd talk about business, and we thought, that sounds a bit boring actually. It's not going to be boring, I promise. Don't turn us off. Bear with us, bear with us. We thought we would talk about like the struggles almost, and how you actually can start a successful business and get yourself from an initial idea to actually making it work, because it feels easy, doesn't it? But in both our experiences, it's not easy. You just have to keep going with it.
I think it's the other way around. Sometimes I think people put off doing what they want to do because they think it's going to be too hard.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then they don't do it. Or when they do start, they go, oh, fucking hell, I had no idea it was going to be this, 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 and this. And because we don't know what we don't know, do we? Which
Is
is why,
that is that how you felt, Nick? That it was going to be too hard to do it?
yeah, for years, years and years and years, like I'd always told myself I'll never start my own business because it's too hard. And then when I started doing Reiki and fell in love with it, I couldn't ignore that was my path. And then I found yoga. And like in my first year of business, I've told you this, haven't I? It wasn't my first year, but I found a pay, like a year, what's it called? Tax return. And I'd made £4,000 that
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fucking hell? And then since lockdown, it went from 4 to 25 to 50 to 150 and then another 150. I think it was
See,
125 and then 150 actually, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Like, I'm totally transparent. I'm not there yet. No way. But I did get about a 360% increase on my turnover last year, which
It just
is
happened.
massive. It's massive. So, you do get there. But interestingly, what you said there, I think I thought the opposite, because I'd been in a corporate career for so long and been very successful at it. And and if he's listening, I don't know whether he does listen to this, but one of my reps had started an e-commerce business and made it look easy. He actually made it look easy. And what happened there is that he invested in a product that he absolutely loved, which was golf accessories. And then he hit lockdown, and yeah, it just took it online and it absolutely took off. and he made it look easy. And I think my ego got the better of me, and I just went, well, if he can do that, obviously I can do it. It's going to be easy. And it didn't quite work that way. And there's some really tough lessons with that. And whilst I've still got it now, I've got orders to send out today. It's certainly nowhere near the level that he got his golfing business to. And he just hit that right product, you know, absolute brilliant kind of gelling of golf and football. That was
Can
what
I
it
just
was.
say there as well, like, we've got to be really careful not to compare ourselves to other people, because it's so hard to do. And we look around and we're like, oh, look at them doing this and look at them doing that. And we can learn from people, but sometimes we've just got to be really careful where we put ourselves.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
always what it appears to be.
And I think, you know, I was at a point where I wanted to move on from Coca-Cola. I was obviously really poorly and had to. And I thought, well, this is part of my passion and my why. You know, it's like obviously intrinsically linked to me getting better, but it wasn't enough of what I loved doing. And I think you summed it up when you said about Reiki. I just didn't have a choice. I had to do it. I had to follow that passion. And that is probably the most the best bit of advice that I could ever give anyone that's listening that wants to start a business is find your passion. Because if it's not something you're passionate about, you won't bloody do it. And someone said that to me over and over again. I was like, yeah. But I needed something to do. I needed something to fill that void. And I'd been down lots of ideas prior to that, and none of them were really like gelling with me. Before I got ill, in fact, so I was actually thinking about building a business even before then, but it just wasn't feeling right. And sometimes it's right in front of your face, literally right in front of your face.
But you don't know until you know, do you? And then you'll get it. So if you're not thinking about what it could be, sometimes it doesn't just come and slap you in the face. Like mine was a bit of an awakening. I'd started understanding myself and tapping into things, and the more I was understanding and doing stuff, the better I was feeling. And it was like this whole new obsession, spiritual obsession, I want to call it, because the things that I was doing were helping me. And then I was like, fucking hell, if it's helping me, it must help other people. So everything that helped me, I went and trained in, so that I'd done it first and then I could help other people with it. And that's what I've always done and will always do. But you just sometimes, we need to remember that it's a journey.
Yeah.
And what I want to say about that is sometimes it's a long and bumpy and expensive journey, which is exactly why we've created the Healing Academy franchise, because we have got all the bits in it that we know you need to create a successful business, spiritual business with a proven business model, which, you know, my business has been multi-six figures for the last 2 years and grown. But it's about finding that, like, if it doesn't light you up, if the thought of Reiki and meditation and subconscious healing and running retreats and all these things like doesn't light you up, it's not for you. And that's not your journey. But you've got to know that everything is happening for you for a reason, and sometimes there's lessons.
Yeah. Do you know, when you were saying that then, I was sitting there thinking, you know, why didn't I end up going down the route of being one of your franchisees? Because that is a big question, really, isn't it? And sometimes you're either a participant or you're a trainer of it. And I think if you're enjoying being a participant of things like Reiki, meditation, and being part of the workshops, right, you can see the value in it. It's a bit like Zumba for me, right? I trained to be a Zumba instructor and thought, you know, I could go and do it. But then it puts all the work there, so I have to learn all the routines rather than just going along and enjoying the class, you know. So if you feel drawn to being a leader in that field that can help other people in exactly what the way that Nikki is, I mean, completely and utterly, absolutely thrives off doing Reiki attunements.
Oh my God, they're my favorite.
Oh my God, yeah. Thrives off like running the Nike 13 rites of the womb ceremony at a retreat, you know. Loves doing a spiritual healing session, loves doing tarot and teaching other people how to do it. Then yeah, it's absolutely a calling, isn't it? But if you like to be a participant, then that's a different thing, and that's okay too. That's all okay too, because you know, actually our franchisees need customers as well. So Yeah, it's all okay, isn't it? But it's got to make your heart beat. It's got to make you get out of bed in the morning, you know. And I that's where I just love helping people to be successful and coaching them to find their like inner juicy potential bits that they can then get brave and shout about to the world. That really lights me up. So, but yeah, it's finding that, and it's been a hell of a journey for both of us. And I've still got like 500 bottles in my garage that if anyone's listening and wants to buy a load of water bottles on bulk, let's talk. For God's sake, please, let's talk. Because it's yeah, you've got to learn. It's one of the lessons.
It is though, and there's no, you know, we're constantly evolving and learning, and it is a journey, and we've got to expect that sometimes, you know, we'll go off the path a little bit and then come back on and be like, ah, there's the sign, it was hidden by this tree, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, we've just
Yeah,
gone in a different direction, and if we don't know things, we don't try. But I bet you've learned so much of having that business that you can apply to.
loads.
Yeah.
Because without that business, I wouldn't know how to do, like, I built my own website, and all I've done is just use the same platform and translated it and transferred it into my coaching business.
Yeah.
So it's a bit glitchy at the minute, but yeah, the content's all there. It's just a couple of the settings in the background that I need a bit of help with, but that's a lot cheaper to get that help than to have to write my entire website or get my website written. So I've learned loads, absolutely tons from having Calm and Chilled. And I've also learned one really important thing as well, in that I'm actually pretty creative, and I never had myself down as a creative person. And then suddenly I'm designing yoga mats and I'm designing my logo, and I was like, oh, and one major thing as well, it gave me space. Calm and Chilled did. It gave me the space that I needed, because you've got to remember I did 17 years working for Coke as a sales manager, did 22 in total, but 17 of them I was a coach and mentor. And I think I needed a break from it. I needed a break from it to realize that I was going to miss it.
Yeah.
And I did. You know, I got to a point after 2 years into Calm and Chilled, I was just like, I hit rock bottom, and my mental health went literally down the drain. And that's where, but I knew that I needed to pick myself up. So I started obviously searching, and the rest is history, because I went on a retreat in Wales and met Nikki. So
You were just saying then about all that. Like, I was just thinking, I stopped doing Reiki about, God, was it about 4 years ago now? I just like was like, I'm just not feeling it anymore. And I just sort of like stopped offering it. And then I think because of the coaches that I was working with at the time, I started trying to go down a more mindset-y, businessy route. And not be this other thing, because I've always been authentic, but I thought it was like the missing piece to what I needed and blah, blah. And then I just fell out of love with that, and fell back into like running the spiritual retreats and just the connection and the like. I love holding space for women. I love creating a safe container. I love that everyone else is always my teacher. And even the girls at the weekend, you know, I was like, look at what's happened over the last 2 days. And I said at the beginning, and I'll say again, we are all each other's teachers, because I'll go there to do that, but I've learned so much more off them about different things.
yeah.
So there's always something. And I think when we can sit side by side like that, it's just really gorgeous, isn't it? But
It really is. I mean, you create the safest of spaces where people can kind of release their inner traumas and feel absolutely okay about doing that, and come out a different person. I mean, God, look at me after the retreat last year in Anglesey. I came out as a different person. And when I was telling my friend about that last night, actually, Nat, if you're listening, hello. And shout out. And yeah, she said to me, and do you still feel empowered like you did when you came out of that retreat now? And I said, yeah. And that's the life-changing stuff, isn't it? Because normally it wears off after a bit, but if you keep doing the work, then it doesn't. But you're brilliant at holding space for people, and I'm brilliant at, you will uncover all of that stuff that's holding them back, empower them, find their power, and then I'll help them to use that power and like to get the energy really high. And that's what I love doing, is like really getting that motivation high in a room and getting people going, yes, I'm gonna do it.
You're really good at asking the right questions though, that pulls the bits out of them that they know are in there but they can't articulate. So it's like, tell me about this, why that? And eventually they're like, oh my God, it's this. And you're like, yes, it is.
I know, you want to be inside my head when that's going on, because it's just like they'll talk and I'm stopping myself from speaking the whole time, but the questions are just going bah, 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 around my head. It's just it's 17 years of coaching people, isn't it? But also learning that listening is just as important as speaking. Like listening intently is the most important thing you can do as a coach. And what you were saying earlier about how you decided that Reiki, you were going to have a break from it and not do it, and you got influenced by the sound of it by a few different coaches. And I would say the biggest bit of advice that I would give to anybody listening to this who wants to start their own business is find your people. And you might have to go through a few to get to the right people. And it might be us, it might not be us, but it is find the right people for you. And I think the beauty of what we do is that we let people make their own choices. We help them to dig deep to their inner feelings and come up with the answers from within. There's no influence, there's no pushing in a direction. It's about doing it your way, doing it in the way that you want it to feel, the way that you want to show up. It's not about influencing that for us.
And that all comes down to intuition and trusting yourself, and how you know it's the right decision for you. It'll vary between people, but when someone asks you a question or when you're about to make a decision, come out of your head and tap into your body and just notice what your energy is saying to you. Like, I've talked about the human compass loads of times, haven't I? And I'm going to do a little video on it actually and put it somewhere, but it's just that gut yes, where your body sort of like leans into the answer. And if it's not right for you, it'll almost make your shoulders go up a little bit and you'll get that little prickly anxiety feeling across your chest and you're like, oh, I'm not quite sure. Like you've smelt a turd, you might get that face, you might get stink face, like, don't know.
Stink face.
Stink face.
But it's about having the right people to like riff with. There you go.
Riff with,
yeah.
It's the safety, isn't it? And it's it's got to be right, and you've got to feel safe, and those people have got to have your back and light you up and all the things and get you and see you and this is another reason, and I know we're harping on about the Healing Academy today, but intentionally we are, because this is one of the things that we've seen in business is the gaps of the people, still going to networking events but still not feeling seen or connected, but we want to create that community and that safe space and the sisterhood of us always having each other's backs. And if someone's struggling with something, we're all like, how can we help? Or what about this? And like, there's no silly questions, and this isn't working for me. Okay, well, what do you think would work? Because at the moment, this is a baby for us. Like, this is our baby. So it's like, we want people to come in and be like, what about doing this? I've had an idea. Be like, ooh, what's that? Is it Hyundai? Have you heard the story about the Hyundai cars?
No.
So this guy, before it was Hyundai, there was this car factory, right? And it was all going to shit. The workers didn't get on. There was like physical fights. People were just slacking off and smoking in the car park when you weren't supposed to, and blah, blah. And there was like no rules or boundaries, really. Everyone was blaming everyone. The management were like all against the staff, and the staff were against the management. They didn't feel like they mattered, so they started rebelling and all these things. Anyway, the whole factory closed, and everyone was made redundant. And then I'm probably going to get this wrong. Apologies if it's not Hyundai, but it was another big car firm that came in. I'm just going to pretend it's Hyundai. Came in and rehired everybody that had left. I was like, right, tell me what wasn't working. Okay, well, this, and this. Okay, well, how would it be better? Well, this, and this. And it's like, okay, so they listened to the workers, they implemented the changes, and every month when people had their appraisals, they asked them for a new idea. And Stephen Bartlett talks about this. And it's that 1% change or whatever it is, or those, it's called something. Oh, I want to say
what you're talking about here is the culture change that I went through when we got a new female leader at Coca-Cola. We had a new, totally thought differently.
It's called I'm sure it's called the Kaizen prophecy. I'm gonna have to
yeah, I'm sure it is. But I have experienced exactly what you're talking about, where someone has come in and changed the company culture and turned it on its head simply by empowering the people on the front line.
Exactly. And look what we did last year with the book, She Empowers. Like,
yeah,
we know everyone has got it within them and everyone's got their own gifts, and together, you know, we can make a massive change.
Huge change. And that's it. It's taking people on the journey as well, because, you know, our vision is to create the world's largest spiritual franchise so that we can spread the power of healing, the power of all these beautiful tools and modalities that we teach people. Yeah, so that we can really make a difference and leave a legacy. And as long as everybody is on the same page and we're all working on the same why, then that's it. And if any of our franchisees have ideas to make that better, we are so open to it. And that's the culture that we want. We don't want a tell culture. We're not going to have people come in where we go, right, you're going to do it and you're going to do it this way and we're not going to listen to you. Absolutely no way. And I have come from a culture of doing that. I have learned from one of the best leaders that I've ever experienced of to how to do this as well. And I'm so excited to bring it all in. I really am.
It's like school though, isn't it? When when you don't feel like seen or heard, like just do as you're told, you're just fucking switching off, chewing your pencil at the back of the class, aren't you? And it's just no fun.
You've got to feel important, haven't you? Like you're actually making a difference. Like you're not just a number, you're not just a cog in a big wheel. You know, you're absolutely vital. Nikki's losing it here. She's put a hat right at the top. We're both wearing our Healing Academy franchise hats here today with our old logo on, which will be updated very soon. But yeah, I mean, it's about inclusivity. It's about empowering. It's about listening, nurturing, and you know, the greater good. One vision, one direction. We're all going the same way. We may as well help each other. It's that.
So for people that are listening now, what would be your top tip to help them find their passion?
Well, for a start, you've got to put Flashdance on in the background. Find your passion, make it happen. My top tip to find your passion. It's an easy one, that is. So what I always tell my clients is go back through your timeline. And what I mean by timeline is literally your life. It's 1313. Dun, dun, dun. So you go back through your timeline. So, for example, you know, your childhood, what you were good at, what you enjoyed, what brought you the joy, you know, some of the things that you may have forgotten about, your teenage years, into your adult life, where you started working, what you hated doing, what you loved doing, what you really excelled at. And you start making a list of all of the things that you were really, really good at. You're going to make me laugh in a minute. She's put her hair up on top of her head and then put a hat on. She looks like a gnome.
Bald person.
A bald person. But yeah, so go back through that timeline, pick out those key events that really switched you on. You were really motivated and you were working at your absolute best. And those are the things that lit you up. What can you do around that? And for me, it was when I was empowered to lead my team through change at Coca-Cola. Project management is massive for me. sorting out big complex problems, getting groups of people together, understanding the vision, breaking it down into a process and moving the whole lot forward is me all over. And what do you think my role is in the franchise, Nick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just pulled me hat over my eyes then. Whereas
It's getting everyone on the same page, getting all our processes right. So you've all the franchisees got all the training they need. They know exactly where to go for everything. And they're really, really clear on the vision, the why, the goals, and they're motivated and empowered to go for it. And that's what I do best, is motivate and empower people. There we go. And that's all down to going through my timeline and really knowing where I excelled. So that's my top tip. Okay. She's got hair clip on her lip now.
Sorry, I'm having a squirrel moment.
She is having a squirrel moment
about how opposite we are, but how that works, because mine's you're creative as well. My top tip.
Yeah.
Feel into it every day. Step into your intuition even more. Ask for more signs, connect into that inner voice. And it's hard because what will come up for you is this right? Am I doing it right? And then it's time to go deeper, and it's time to feel in more, and it's time to look for more signs, because you'll just know. And it's tapping into your clear senses. So like, how do you receive messages? Do you hear them? Do you feel them? Do you just know? Do you get like a little vision playing in your head, like a little dream? And everyone is so fucking magic, honestly. And this is what lights me up, is working with people and helping them feel so safe in their own gifts, awakening them to realize that like they are so fucking magic. And then they've got the confidence to go and share their gifts with the world and ignite other people. And for me, my light ignites their light, and then their light, it's like this is a little flame, this little bobble on my hat, and they just go, and they're like, there you go, I see you. And it's not expecting everybody to be the same, expecting them to be different, and looking for that light within those other people. And I think that's what I do really well. And that's why I love Reiki so much, because the moments when they're going, well, what does this mean? And I just flip it back and I'm like, what do you think it means? And they go, ooh. And I'm like, come on, feel into it. What is it? And they go, well, to me, I'm seeing this color and that means this. And then I'm being shown a little girl and she's doing this. And they're like, and that, when they have the confidence. So I say Reiki is like catchphrase. You say what you see, and it's not about you. We've got to remove the ego from everything, because the messages, when we're connecting to source and receiving and tapping into our intuition for our clients, it's never about, are we getting it right? It's about, if I don't give you this message, what might happen? Because it could be that they don't get it right there and then, but the next day they'll feel it and be like, fucking hell, she said that, and it was this. Like, when I asked for the sign of a green frog, do you remember when we were on a call, just having a random chat one day, and I was like, do you know what? I've asked for a sign and it's dead random. And she went, what is it? And I said, it's a green frog. And the next thing, from under the screen, Narissa pulls up this green frog and she's like this.
Yeah, can't find him right now. He's around. And I had him because we always say when we're in a Zumba or club size class and it's gone really well and we've come out like buzzing, it went off like a frog in a sock. And we got the green frog and put him in a sock. So that's where we came from. But do you know what? I'm just going to say, so anyone that's listening at the moment to this, can you imagine the conversation that you could have with me and Nikki about finding your why? Dun, dun, dun.
How much fun would you have?
You'd have so much fun. So, I'm going to question your ass off and get all this kind of stuff that you've done in the past, and then Nikki's going to get you to feel all into it.
Oh my God. If any of this has like lit a fire under your arse, or made you pee a bit of glitter, or even just give you the feels, or resonated on some level, and you want to explore and see if it's for you, just get in touch with one of us and we'll book a virtual cuppa, because it isn't going to be for everyone, and we know that. It's an application process, because it's got to be the right people.
Yes, it has. But if you want a good all-round experience, it's definitely that. Because we are both really experienced coaches in our own right, but very different. And we bring very different things to the party, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why we love working together, isn't it? Because Nikki will think about things that I don't, and I will think about things that she doesn't,
And she'll overthink everything that I don't.
I do overthink. I do, yeah. And then Nick will bring me back round from the overthinking. So, but you know what? Sometimes you've got to spark a little bit of overthinking because it gets all the ideas out on the table, and then you feel into the ones that feel right, and then you get your answer. So it's a great combo.
I know now the reason I don't overthink is because I've got an open head for one, but also I think my ADHD has something to do with it because I'm too impatient. So too long on one thought is just fucking boring for me. I'm off to the next one and the next one, and I've got like 50 going off at the same time. Like last night, I was trying to go to sleep and I didn't really have ideas. It was more thoughts. But imagine if you throw, I can't even explain it. You know, if you throw something really hard at a trampoline, like the little round ones, this is what it feels like in my head. If you threw a tennis ball at that, it'd go boing off. And then if you threw it again, boing off. And that's what it felt like. All these thoughts were like pounding in my head last night. So I was trying to, and they weren't even ideas. They were just diddle-diddle-it, diddle-diddle-it, diddle-diddle-it. And I wrote most of them down on my fucking list. So like, fuck off. And then a song came in that Mikey had been singing, and I was like, oh my God. So I do this thing just for anyone who's neurospicy. This might help you. I do breath work, but not like Wim Hof style stuff. I breathe in until I can't breathe in anymore. And then I hold it for 10. And you'll feel like your lungs are going to pop. And then I breathe out as slow as I can. Like really, really, really slow. And you'll feel your heartbeat start to dip. And then there'll be like this sort of lull at the bottom where you don't feel like you need to breathe in again. And then I'll breathe in really, really slow and really, really deep. And I try and do 2 breaths a minute. And it might take a little minute to get into because there's normally fucking shitloads of squirrels on the trampoline then going, wow, we found a trampoline, this is fucking boss. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that now. We're breathing. But once that's got into the rhythm, I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So if that helps anybody, but
that's amazing. That might help me because sometimes if I've got stuff going around my head, I'll wake up. I generally go to sleep, but then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. with it all just flying around my head.
Oh no, it's horrible that.
Yeah. And it's like, there's my, so who knows if I'm a bit neurospicy or not? I don't know. I could be. But
a notepad and pen next to your bed, write it all down, get it out your head. Because sometimes if you try and remember things for the morning, you're holding on to that thought and it keeps you
awake. And you're worrying, aren't you? And then and in the middle of the night, it feels so much bigger than actually it needs to be. And you wake up in the morning and go, why was I worried about that? But and I replay events as well. So if something's happened, just over and over and over and over and over all night. Yeah.
So do you know what my interrupter is? Gratitude.
Right. Yeah. Well, I do that every morning as well. I mean, I've got loads of rituals that I put in every morning now.
But that, if I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, hang on, stop. Like, what am I really, really grateful for? And I did a gratitude meditation this morning, and the first thing that popped into my head for being grateful for is when Daisy sometimes gives me a kiss and she just puts her little hands on my face, and it feels like my mum.
Oh,
and it's the most beautiful. It literally makes me heart just like burst loads of other little sparkly hearts out into the world. It's like, and I'm just like, oh, it's just beautiful. So I had that this morning, and it's just filled me with pure love and joy.
Oh, I love that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh, blue bubble, and did you see it?
A little bit. At least it wasn't a snot bubble.
Chatting bubbles, not like me.
Well, there we go. I think that just about sums it up, really. But I'm hoping you can hear just how keen we are and how it absolutely lights us up. We've just gone into a bit of a fits of giggles here. In all seriousness, it just totally lights us up. Like, being able to work together is fun as it is, as you can see, but being able to work together to help other people to create something that only ever dreamed of, and that might be too scared to start on their own. Oh my God, that's amazing. So we love it. We love it.
We do.
Before Nikki absolutely loses the plot, we're going to go.
We have so much fun. And that's what it's all about as well. You know, it's a spiritual business in a box. You get us, but do you know what? You'll have so much fucking fun because there's not a serious moment, really, is there?
Not really, no. There never is. In fact, we'll put a little clip of us out today. I think we were doing Vanilla Ice before this. Ice baby. I think that needs to go on Facebook today. So
it's because I was talking and you went stop, and I went collaborate and listen, and then that was it.
Ice is back with a brand new. That was it. Yeah. Anyway, so,
summarizing, find your passion. Take some time to tap in to what you feel, and remember that you can't get it wrong.
Look at your timeline. Look at the things that light you up. Yeah, really feel into it. Go back to that moment. What did it feel like? Feel it, taste it, hear it, everything. Was it good for you?
Yeah, we'll just leave that there then.
We'll leave that there.
Please get in touch with us if you've got any questions about anything or everything.
Drop us some comments. Yes.
Yeah. What else do you normally say at the end?
I normally say follow us on Insta, keep calm and pea glitter, and yeah, follow us and connect with us on Facebook. I'm there, Narissa Heald, Nikki Kinsella, and we do have a group as well, the Healing Academy group, called the Healing Academy Franchise. So come on in, because that group is all about following our journey with the Healing Academy. So we're very, very proud of that group. So yeah, we're going to be building that. So if you would like to know it more and see how we operate, come on in and have a look.
And let us know if you are at any of the following events, because that's where we're going to be. We're going to be at the Big Festoon, aren't we, at the end of
end of March.
And
we're going to be at Mid Belfast just as attendees, but we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Beginning of March. Where else are we going to be?
Well, I'm going to Amplify in Ireland at the end of February, and I'm just manifesting the recipes there because she knows that she needs to, but it's
in school holidays, so I'm doing that whole fight with like what's happening in school holidays, and I don't know yet, but hopefully I can be there. But we've got loads of other things planned as well. I think we want to go to Ideas Fest as well, don't we, at the end of the year? So, and we got the NEC at the end of the year again. Whoop whoop. Mind, body, spirit. Yes, we love doing that. That was amazing. We had so much fun. So we are going to be out and about doing lots of stuff. On tour. Healing Academy on tour. Oh yeah. Okay. Love you very much. I'll see you soon. Bye.